to talk about the Health and Human Services budget. Does everyone that needs one have a tracking sheet out there from my committee? Great, great, great. Okay, so when we last met, we talked about a possible cut to one thing, but we also found some savings when our committee talked, some savings that would keep us from having to do that. So the project that we talked about removing and using dollars for is still in place here, the pilot. So let's start on the changes that were made. We'll start under behavioral health with 15 to 11. The first is a $10,000 savings from Rockdale Cares. This is a measure that quite often the Senate puts in, and we'll see if they do this time. If you will go then to 15.3.7, reducing operating funds for a 40-bed forensic unit due to delayed start date. We were able to find some savings. Hasn't made it change in any way except that they will not be able to spend that money in a timely manner, so we're going to use it, and then it will all become whole. The unit moved from Georgia Regional Hospital in Atlanta to Columbus, and that changed their start date to July 1, 2020. So those are some of the savings. Then, if you go to 15.4.12, and this will be matching funds that we're going to place for Home First, which is a public-private partnership to provide permanent supportive housing. This is in Fulton County to address their homeless issue. Fulton County does not have a CSB, and there are often not times and places to send someone when they leave crisis care. So this will be that very important supported living. The next update is on 15.8.6. This also is a savings to reduce the startup funds for the Mental Health Crisis Services and Suicide Prevention app that we did. It pulls out about $30,000. Not to make it go away, but it's all about the timing. The next change, I believe that's it, actually, for behavioral health. Is that correct? So next, we'll take a look at the Department of Human Services, and here we were able to spread the money that we did save around a good bit. So if you will join me and look at 28.6.12 for CASA to add capacity. This is such an important service throughout our state. This serves 151 of our 159 counties. A $250,000 addition will add 6,000 children and 1,500 volunteers. We will allow CASA to actually decide the areas of greatest need. It's not an across-the-board measure for each and every county. It will go to those who need it the most according to their kids in the system formula. The next change is at 28.8.8, and this is to reflect HB 206 from the 2017 session. This is in the plan to increase personal needs allowance for our nursing home residents. The House will raise it by $2.50 with the hope that the Senate will match that, and we will help this population greatly. The next one is 28.9.5. So in the governor's budget, there was an increase of 12 adult protective service caseworkers. We have found the way to address the huge disparity in caseload that is there according to what we are doing in the state and compared to the national best practices. We're going to increase that by 5 workers. So that will give us a total of 17. To reduce the caseload, the national standard is 115, and this would change that to make it more in line of 1 with 12. It would have gone down to 1 in 25, but with our addition of 5 more, we will be at 1 in 24. So we're beginning to improve that. The next change is at 28.10.5 to work on the wait list for our AAAs, our Area Agency on Aging, in meals delivered to those in need. And I believe the final figure on that came out to be $1,406,232. So we will increase that and begin to continue to work on that wait list. The next is at 28.14.3, to increase the DFAC's relative caregiver daily per diem. There's a difference in those who are in relative care, kinship care, and those who are in DFAC's placement. This is not going to bring them in alignment, but it will bring them much closer. The current average daily rates for family care is, for foster care is 27.39, and relative care is 23.91. We'll begin to bring those closer and closer with an additional dollar. And next is a new item that you will see there, and it is a savings, 28.22.8. We were able to draw back $195,282. Then under Voc Rehab as well, 28.25.4 deals with FODAC, the Friends of Disabled Adults and Children, a savings of $20,000. And at 28.25.5, we will increase the funds to expand outreach of independent living for our disabled and in the underserved areas. This is for our independent living centers. There are two large gaps in our entire state that do not have services, counties, and so this will help them move. Right now, they serve 123 of our 159 counties, and this will help them branch out and continue to grow that work. And then, if you will look under Veteran Services, 48.4.6, to reduce the funds for one-time funding for an office outfitting. It was just simply a savings of $2,000 that was found there. The one-time funding for a new field office in Columbia County. So those are the changes in the Human Resources budget. Are there any questions? We have a motion to pass and a second. Any further questions? If not, all in favor signify by saying aye. Those opposed by like sign. The motion carries, and thank you so much for your work on this budget.